Well, no, not the first episode.
So Kurt, can you talk a little bit about that? There is quite literally a new sheriff in town, right? I don't know how much you want to talk about the new characters, but there's some new faces on the scene.
Yeah, Rockman Dunbar plays the new sheriff, and Eli Roosevelt. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a different dynamic for the club, whom always have had a relationship with law enforcement, at least in their hometown. And you know, we also get to play out some of the racial dynamics that happen within a club, and or not within the club, and with Rockman's character. So that's going to be a fun thing to explore this season. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, as interesting as it is, we have Raymond McKenna, who also plays a assistant U.S. district attorney this season. So there's a lot of external law enforcement antagonists this season. But I think the interesting part is that really the dynamic that's going on within the club. You know, I've said this before, that ultimately, you know, Sam Crow's greatest foe is Sam Crow.
Just as a side note, we want to get to some fan questions in just a couple of minutes. I hope folks are lining up over there. I can't quite see. I wanted to ask Ron, how is the relationship between Jax and Clay this season? There's obviously been many ups and downs down that road. How do you characterize it this season? Are they pretty solid, pretty tight?
Well, the general way that thing is always played out is that whenever there's any kind of external threat to the well-being of the club, all internal philosophical differences are shelved. But we know that, as the audience, that they're being shelved, not being resolved. So that we know that there's this tension that exists, even though there seems to be a lot of bonhomie and a lot of single-mindedness of purpose. But those things, the longer they foment, maybe the more dynamic they will be when they finally become too big to ignore.
Any Jax Terra fans in the house?